Warm greetings from TNV Academy. Today in this session, we are going to discuss about cybersecurity and few of its related concepts. However, let us take a note of the key learning of this session first. At the end of this session, you will be able to understand what is cybersecurity, domains of cybersecurity, cybercrime and types of cyber threats, benefits of cybersecurity, challenges of cybersecurity, and how to manage cybersecurity. So let's start and talk about what is cybersecurity first. Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting critical systems and sensitive information from digital attacks. Also known as information technology security, cybersecurity measures are designed to combat threats against network systems and applications, whether those threats originate from inside or outside of an organization. Cybersecurity is the protection of internet-connected systems such as hardware, software, and data from cyber threats. The practice is used by individuals and enterprises to protect against unauthorized access to data centers and other computerized systems. A strong cybersecurity strategy can provide a good security posture against malicious attacks designed to access, alter, delete, destroy, or extort an organization's or user's system and sensitive data. Cybersecurity is also instrumental in preventing attacks that aim to disable or disrupt a system's or device's operation. A successful cybersecurity approach has multiple layers of protection spread across the computers, networks, programs, or data that one intends to keep safe. In an organization, the people, processes, and technology must all complement one another to create an effective defense from cyber attacks. So this was the basic definition of cybersecurity. Let us now discuss about the various domains of cybersecurity in detail. Cybersecurity encompasses technologies, processes, and methods to defend computer systems, data, and networks from attacks. To best answer the question, what is cybersecurity and how cybersecurity works, we must divide it into a series of domains. The first one is application security. Application security covers the implementation of different defenses in an organization's software and services against a diverse range of threats. This subdomain requires cybersecurity experts to write secure code, design secure application architectures, implement robust data input validation, and more to minimize the chance of unauthorized access or modification of application resources. The second one is cloud security. Cloud security relates to creating secure cloud architectures and applications for companies that use cloud service providers like Amazon, Web Services, Google, Azure, Rackspace, etc. The third one is identity management and data security. This subdomain covers activities, frameworks, and processes that enable authorization and authentication of legitimate individuals to an organization's information systems. These measures involve implementing powerful information storage mechanisms that secure the data, whether in transition or residing on a server or computer. In addition, this subdomain makes greater use of authentication protocols, whether two-factor or multi-factor. The fourth one is mobile security. Mobile security is a big deal today as more people rely on mobile devices. This subdomain protects organizational and personal information stored on mobile devices like tablets, cell phones, and laptops from different threats like unauthorized access, device loss or theft, malware, viruses, etc. In addition, mobile security employs authentication and education to help amplify security. The fifth one is network security. Network security covers hardware and software mechanisms that protect the network and infrastructure from disruptions, unauthorized access, and other kind of abuses. Effective network security protects organizational assets against a wide range of threats from within or outside the organization. The sixth one is disaster recovery and business continuity planning. The disaster recovery business continuity subdomain covers processes, alerts, monitoring, and plans designed to help organizations prepare for keeping their business critical systems running during and after any sort of incident, such as massive power outages, fires, natural disasters, etc., and resuming and recovering lost operations and systems in the incident's aftermath. The seventh one is user education. Knowledge is power, and staff awareness of cyber threats is valuable in the cybersecurity puzzle. Giving business staff training on the fundamentals of computer security is very much critical in raising awareness about industry's best practices, organizational procedures and policies, monitoring, and reporting suspicious malicious activities. This subdomain covers cybersecurity related classes, programs, and certifications. Let us now discuss about cybercrimes and types of cyber threats. Cybercrime is defined as any unauthorized activity involving a computer, device, or network. There are three general recognized classifications of cybercrime: computer-assisted crimes, crimes where the computer itself is a target, and crimes where the computer is incidental to the crime rather than directly related. The most common kinds of cyber threats are cyber terrorism. This threat is a politically based attack on computers and information technology to cause harm and create widespread social disruption. The second one is malware. This threat encompasses ransomware, spyware, viruses, and worms. It can install harmful software, block access to your computer resources, disrupt the system, or covertly transmit information from your data storage. The third one is Trojans. Like the legendary Trojan horse of mythology, this attack tricks users into thinking they are opening a harmless file. Instead, once the Trojan is in place, it attacks the system, typically establishing a backdoor that allows access to cyber criminals. The fourth one is botnets. This especially hideous attack involves large-scale cyber attacks conducted by remotely controlled malware-infected devices. Think of it as a string of computers under the control of one coordinating cyber criminal. What's worse is, compromised computers become part of the botnet system as well. The fifth one is adware. This threat is a form of malware. It's often called advertisement-supported software. The adware virus is a potentially unwanted program installed without your permission and automatically generates unwanted online advertisements. The sixth one is SQL injection. A structured query language attacks inserts malicious code into a SQL using server and hence infects your system and networks as well. The seventh one is phishing. Hackers use false communications, especially email, to fool the recipient into opening it and following instructions that typically ask for personal information. Some phishing attacks also install malware. The eighth one is man-in-the-middle attack. The man-in-the-middle attack involves hackers inserting themselves into a two-person online transaction. Once in, the hackers can filter and steal desired data. MITM attacks often happen on unsecured public Wi-Fi networks. The ninth one is denial of service. Denial of service is a cyber attack that floods a network or computer with an overwhelming amount of handshake processes, effectively overloading the system and making it incapable of responding to user requests. Let us now take up the key benefits of cybersecurity for discussion. The major benefits of cybersecurity are business protection against cyber attacks and data breaches, protection for data and networks, prevention of unauthorized user access, improved recovery time after a breach, protection for end users and endpoint devices, regulatory compliance, business continuity, improved confidence in the company's reputation and trust for developers, partners, customers, stakeholders, and employees. We will now discuss about few challenges of cybersecurity. Although cybersecurity is a very safe technique, there are a few major challenges in cybersecurity methodology as well. The first one is the Internet of Things. The Internet is no longer a network for just routers, switches, servers, computers, and printers. It is rapidly giving way to the IoT as well. Numerous electronic and electric devices are Internet-enabled, including refrigerators, televisions, cameras, motor vehicles, washing machines, and light bulbs. While the IoT has created innumerable opportunities for connectedness, it has also introduced gaps of unprecedented scale and number. There are far more potential entry points for attack. Cyber criminals can take over thousands of these devices to unleash a DDoS attack. The second one is rapidly evolving risks. Information technology is arguably the fastest evolving industry in the world. Technology that was state of the art 5 years ago could be teetering on the brink of obsolescence today. With new technologies come new dangers and new avenues of attack, making it challenging for organizations to keep pace and update their practices accordingly. This is especially true for smaller organizations that don't have the luxury of large IT, security, and compliance teams. The third one is collection of large quantities of confidential data. Organizations capture, process, and store enormous quantities of confidential information from users, a significant proportion of which might be deemed sensitive. Even small enterprises can find themselves in possession of thousands of customer records in just a couple of months. With more information in their hands, the risk of a cyber criminal stealing the data is an ever-present concern. The fourth one is organized and state-sponsored hacker groups. Cyber attacks are no longer the preserve of a computer-savvy individual, clawing away at a company's cyber defenses while confined to a dark basement. Today's threat actors are more systematic and organized, ranging from advocacy groups such as Anonymous to entire government departments dedicated to cyber espionage, cyber warfare, and cyber terrorism. The fifth one is remote working. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the normalization of remote work, demonstrating that many jobs don't need to be housed in an organization's office. But remote work comes with cyber risks. Employees who use public Wi-Fi while traveling could connect to a rogue hotspot and expose confidential company information to criminals. Working outside the confines of the office also elevates the risk of eavesdropping and device theft. The sixth one is high-speed internet. For decades now, the internet has enabled the real-time exchange of data. Bandwidth has grown dramatically over the years, and high-speed internet is widely accessible, making it possible for rogue actors to upload vast quantities of data in minutes. The seventh one is bring your own device. Bring your own device policies lower the cost of acquiring organization-owned devices. However, these same devices can be a weak point that introduces malware into the organization. And bring your own device might not be subjected to the same degree of oversight and controls as enterprise-owned gadgets. Now, as the final point of discussion for today's session, let us talk that how cybersecurity should be managed. One needs multiple strategies, techniques, tools, technologies, practices, and services to counter cyber attacks. The following are some of the most important pillars of cybersecurity. The first one is leadership commitment. Cybersecurity must have conspicuous buy-in at the highest level of the organization. Employees will be committed to causes that have the explicit support of senior management and the board. The second one is regular risk assessments. Regular cyber risk assessments help to identify and evaluate threats while also determining whether the controls in place are adequate or not. It's a cost-effective and efficient means of proactively protecting your digital assets. The third one is password management. Organizations should develop policies and awareness programs that ensures users create passwords that are difficult to predict. Default password should be changed before an application or device is deployed into the production environment. The fourth one is robust cybersecurity culture. Most cyber attacks ride on vulnerabilities caused by human error. Weak passwords, phishing emails, scam calls, and malware-laced attachments rely on the actions of a user. Attackers utilize these to trick employees into opening a doorway for unauthorized access. Every employee must recognize their responsibility as the first line of defense in protecting the organization's digital assets against cyber attack. This has to be reinforced through regular training. Cybersecurity should be integrated into the company's values and vision, and there should be incentives and rewards for employees who model the right cybersecurity behavior. The fifth one is integrated application and network security solutions. The best enterprise security software solutions work in multiple layers to create a solid defense against cyber threats. Often an organization will need several applications and network security solutions to do the job, ranging from intrusion prevention systems to antivirus softwares. Historically, these solutions were deployed in a reactive, siloed stance that proved ineffective, expensive, and complicated. Attackers could exploit gaps between them. To have true end-to-end visibility of the threat landscape, applications and network security solutions must be integrated to prevent anything from falling through the cracks. The sixth one is partner with a dedicated cyber defense company. The complexities of rapidly evolving cyber dangers can be challenging and time-consuming for the average enterprise. Partnering with a dedicated cyber defense company like Micro Focus enables you to tap into the best cybersecurity knowledge and expertise available. A cyber defense company can help drive cybersecurity into an organization's fabric and deploy the solutions that are most suitable to them. Armed with proven cyber resilience software and enterprise security tools, a dedicated cybersecurity solution provider can keep your security robust. The seventh one is mitigating cybersecurity risk. In today's deeply interconnected world, everyone can benefit from cybersecurity. A successful cybersecurity program provides defense in depth. That is, several layers of protection spanning networks, servers, devices, applications, databases, and data. There are no guarantees that even the most elaborate strategies will keep your organization immune from attack. However, taking the right action will substantially minimize the odds by making it harder for cyber criminals to break through. By identifying new vulnerabilities, deploying cybersecurity tools, and educating users, cybersecurity makes the digital environment safer for all. The eighth one is protect. A good cybersecurity strategy protects your systems, your applications, and your data. You need to ensure that only authorized users can access your systems and that you can track them wherever they go through strong identity access management. You also need to be able to detect vulnerabilities in your applications, finding any weaknesses that might be exploited. Finally, the privacy of your data, information about your customers, your employees, and your organization's intellectual property must be guarded with the highest levels of security. The ninth one is detect. The second part of a good cybersecurity strategy is to detect when someone is trying to act maliciously against you. This can be very challenging as bad actors become more sophisticated and work in more covert ways to breach your environment. Plus, these advanced threats aren't limited to the outside of the organization. Some breaches begin inside an organization. The average delay in breach detection and containment is 280 days. During this time, the bad actors can be stealing or destroying data and even damaging the systems themselves without anyone knowing. To adequately detect security risks, companies must understand what data they hold and where it resides. Mapping your data enables you to understand its importance, govern it according to applicable regulatory demands, and minimize the risk of non-compliance, theft, and more. It's also helpful for security teams to understand individual user behavior. When you understand what someone's normal actions are on the system, it's easier to identify behaviors that don't meet the patterns and might be putting the company at risk. One reason security teams struggle with detection is that many solutions generate so much data that they create false positives. Cybersecurity teams just don't have the time to look at each alert individually and evaluate the risk. That's why any good solution will have the ability to evaluate and automate responses and then elevate higher risk alerts to the security team for action. A major component of cyber resilience and cybersecurity is the ability to adapt and evolve your security posture to stay ahead of threats. Hackers are constantly finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities. They know that there will eventually be a fix for what worked yesterday, so they are constantly trying to figure out what will work tomorrow. A cyber-resilient organization will anticipate the new attack vectors through threat modeling and work to defend them even before they become a vulnerability. To evolve requires the ability to quickly deploy and integrate existing and new services both on premises and in the cloud. It also requires access to industry intellectual property and best practices ideally built into the products and tools being used for security. It also involves being able to rapidly correlate data using mathematical models and machine learning so you can make data-driven decisions. Now we have come to the conclusion of this particular session. For any queries that you have on today's session, please put them in the comment section of the video, which will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, and we will be really happy answering them. Till we see you next, it's best wishes from TNB Academy.